Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming this morning. I know we've been enjoying Nathan's church history lesson, but we're going to take a break from that this morning to hear from Miss Leanne, who's the Community Relations Manager at Choices Women's Clinic, about what's going on with the state of abortion in our state, in our community, in our nation. You will have an opportunity to ask questions, but she's got a really great presentation planned for us. And just remember that the goal of this is to educate you so that you know how to pray about abortion, you know how to talk about it, you know how to advocate for it, and right now you know how to fundraise. So we're going to welcome Leanne, and please give your attention to her. Welcome, Leanne.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. I have been with Choices Women's Clinic for the past 3 years. This is my third walk, but as we're going to talk about, this is not your third walk. You guys are the OGs, the original walkers of and supporters of life in this community, and I just wanted to come here and celebrate that. I want to give you a little update on what's going on nationally and statewide and all of that. It is a lot of numbers, so we do have slides, and I'll try not to make your eyes glaze over with that. Good morning, good morning. I'm here. Can you hear me? Is that a little easier now? Okay. But yeah, so I am thrilled to be able to just share with you a little bit of an update, but also just to celebrate this amazing church community, and just so grateful to be here. So we are in walk season at Choices and in the Orlando community, and hopefully you've all been to a walk before, but we just want to make sure that we give you a great invitation to come out and celebrate this family day. There's a very dark side of this, and we are talking about being the light this year. The battle that we're in, the spiritual battle, is mirroring that physical battle that we literally see every day in our clinics with the women that are coming in. And so this day, this is a really encouraging, upbeat family time that we get to celebrate together as the community, as the Central Florida body of Christ, and so that's a beautiful thing. So, all right, let's jump into it. Yes, I'm ready. I'm going to do like a little point. So these are some hard numbers to take in. Those of you that I am exactly as old as Roe versus Wade. I was born in 1973, and it's sort of been something that even as a child, that my family were very outspoken, pro-life, very, went to marches in Mobile, Alabama, where I'm from, and as a child. And so I always had this kind of knowledge that I wanted to outlive Roe. I knew that there was a logical breakdown in this law. I knew that these things had been done in a very deceptive and just unwise, of course ungodly, but it was a really big celebration to be able to do that back a couple of summers ago and get to celebrate that overturn. So, but we have seen, because of the abortion pill, we've seen an increase in abortions, and the battle is real. And so when we get a success in one lane, the enemy's trying to find another way in to because he wants to destroy life, right? He's come to steal, kill, and destroy. And we hope that Jesus has come for life and life to the full. So, okay, next one. So here's a little map, but if you can see the colors, you look down at Florida, right now we have what is called a 6-week law. So that's when a baby is able to measure, it's done by a measurement, to show that the baby is 6 weeks along in gestation, we have a block. We have a great protection for life that really, really close to the time then you can see a heartbeat, that you can measure that baby is viable, that baby's growing. We say in Florida, we voted for this last year, hopefully all of us in here did. We definitely saw this really good stand up for life. It was too close for comfort for those of us that are really wanting to see Florida make a great stand, but we saw it. We know that was God's mercy and a lot of encouragement from state leaders in that. But if you look at that kind of map around what was going on before last fall, before we were able to have this 6-week law, was that abortion tourism was a very big deal in Florida. And the people that make a lot of money from that were very angry that we were trying to protect life, right? They were going to fight us on that, and they're still coming up with ways to do that. But nationally, we've seen, we have those 4 states that have a heartbeat law. So as soon as you can see a heartbeat at all, they don't care what the size of the baby is. They don't measure. They just say heartbeat means no abortions after that point. They protect life that way. We see that in 13 states, this is very recent, around that time with Roe, because of Roe breaking down and being blocked as unconstitutional, as not allowed anymore. 13 states said, we are completely, there is no abortion in this state, which is difficult with abortion pills. We're going to talk about that a little more, that even in Florida. But you just kind of see that broad range. But we still have 27 states that have few or no protection at all for life. It's their business. It's their decision is to stay out of it or to let that industry just go and go and go. So it does continue to multiply. So we have to keep praying. We have to keep, one of the things that I wanted to leave you with today is that all of these lanes are working. The litigation people, the people fighting in the courts, the fighting for babies, fighting for families, fighting for life are working. Those of us in the clinic, seeing one mom at a time, giving her our full attention. Our medical team is incredible. I could brag on them all day because they have really found a way to make it about honoring God, speaking truth to the mom in front of them that comes into the clinic, and giving them education and honest reporting and all of that, but the truth and love, that truth and grace that they hold so carefully, that I'm not sure before I was around them and was being trained by this incredible team, and they don't still let me talk to patients very much because I'd be like, come on, you gotta do this. Let's think here, ladies, think. But they are just so anointed to do what they do and do an incredible job with it. But this still breaks the heart of God that we as a nation need to understand and value life. So it's a Genesis 1 issue, right? We're seeing that in lots of different areas right now, that a lot of this was just all settled in Genesis 1. That people are made in the image of God, right? Okay, next slide, sorry. So this little timeline, just quickly for Florida, we had some trigger laws in place. So when Roe versus Wade was overturned, then that changed some things for us. There's no quiz at the end. We have all of this if you want to know, but I just am trying to hit the high points for you. But last November, the state of Florida had a vote on a constitutional amendment. So that really would have been devastating for us. Very difficult to restrict those at all, because that a state constitutional amendment, so a Florida amendment, would have been devastating for us. But it was voted down. Praise the Lord. So, okay, next slide. All right, so here's the deal. This Guttmacher is actually an abortion industry reporting. So those are their numbers, right? This is what they're saying. We're going with what they're saying their abortion industry is doing. Medical abortions are 60%. So if you think about a medical as a pill, and it's sold as a pill, we have women come into the clinic that say, I ordered this online, should I take it? We're like, please don't take it. You don't know what it is. Or my friend bought these and gave them to me. What is happening with pills that is different? It's a different enemy. It's a different fight than somebody who's making an appointment and going and having a surgical abortion, is that they just have it at home. And when they get mad at their boyfriend, or if they feel depressed, or if they feel upset, it's super easy to take that pill and start the process of the abortion. So abortion pills are 2 to 3 pills process. So some are 2 and some are 3. And that first pill starves the baby and basically kills the baby. And then the second pill expels that baby from your body. So when you're at home processing this and making a very quick decision in the moment, in the heat of things, you don't even have the process of driving to talk to somebody, or in Florida, for years we've had protections that you had to see an ultrasound Even Planned Parenthood has to show those. They're not great ultrasounds. They're really grainy and they're really terrible. And sometimes they don't turn the TV on and let you see them. And sometimes they don't, really show you anything, but they're legally supposed to do it, right? So what happens with the medical abortion or a pill, medication abortion, is that there's nobody else. This woman is by herself making this decision, a permanent decision that she had no support and no medical information, no oversight. And also our emergency room visits are skyrocketing from women taking these pills at home. So we're not really, the world wants to tell you, the industry wants to tell you, we're gonna make this problem so much easier and so much simpler. You put our abortion clinics out of business, we'll do this, we'll find another way. So we just have to really be wise about that. So, okay, so this is the industry and what it looks like. Last year, we still had that 65,000 Florida abortions just in our state. In Orlando alone, that was over 9,000. So it technically went down. Like I said, with the pill, it's really hard with the reporting because it's not somebody coming in a clinic and making an appointment and scheduling that. So, yeah, so we have 4 abortion clinics in Orlando, and the 3 Choices locations, I can show you on a map if you want to come talk to me after, but are very strategically located to where these 4 abortion clinics are. So within 1 mile to 2 miles of every abortion clinic, there's a Choices standing and holding that line. And that's because of you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. These are all the services that Choices offers. Pregnancy testing, obviously. We have added telehealth in the last year or 2. You may have heard about that at your last walk update from us. But the options consultation is the big deal, right? That's the woman coming in, hopefully bringing the dad with her, and getting to have a conversation with one of our team. And just, we're very honest. The message of Choices from the name is none of your choices are easy. If you had an easy choice today, you would be shopping and getting cute outfits for your baby. You would be scheduling your OBGYN appointments. You would be decorating your nursery. When you're excited about a baby, you have a whole different path, right? Those are the things you're doing. The fact that you're making an appointment at Choices means that none of your choices are as straightforward and clear as that. So we want to come into that moment with them and really say, don't think what the world is telling you that you have an easy out with abortion. You have a new set of issues when you do that. You don't solve a problem because a baby's not a problem to be solved, right? This is life, and it's going to be with you whether you make a medical decision. Ta-da! Okay, does that mean go to the next slide? I'm just kidding. Okay, we have added hemoglobin. Oh yeah, it was me getting Gmail, sorry. Probably a lot this morning. The hemoglobin screening is new. That is a new thing because of the pill. So that is where the world comes up with the strategy to take life, and the pro-life, the godly, incredible team of medical professionals that work in this industry have come up with ways to meet these women where they are and still fight for their health, still fight for those conversations that we have with them. So the hemoglobin screening is because if you take an abortion pill, you are going to have a high risk of other medical issues because of that process bleeding out at home. It's very gross, and I'm sorry to share that. But that is, if you already have a low iron situation going on, that's double danger, right? It's already terrible and dangerous. But we kind of build on that. But that's where abortion pill reversal comes in, and we have seen several success stories. If you get our Christmas card, you're on our list. We had the baby on the Christmas card last year, like in 23, was an APR baby. So mom calls, she takes an abortion pill, she immediately regrets it. She calls a national hotline who connects her to our OBGYN in Orlando, who gets on the phone with her a Saturday night at 2 in the morning, whatever she needs, and gets her going on basically a hormone replacement for the pill that she took. And we bring those mamas in every single week for an ultrasound, and we pray for them, and we pray that they are able to reverse this thing that they now regret that they did. And it's a hard walk. It's a hard walk to walk through that with them, because we can celebrate every week on the ultrasound that the baby gets stronger. And for the first few times while we were working on, not locally, but nationally, where they were working on what combination of medication would help offset that, babies were miscarrying a few weeks in. So depending on when they took the pill and how the age of the baby, and it's heartbreaking, because now we're walking through a major grief with them, and seeing them that they had changed their minds, but they had taken that pill and it was too late. The success stories are also amazing, because you just see the look on those parents' faces of how close they came to not having their baby. We see that all the time, actually, because 80% of the women that come in for appointments with us are abortion determined. They are looking for an abortion. And this is the unique thing that Choices is offering in our community that you guys are making available for them, is we are seeing those women who really, when they choose life and you meet them holding their baby, they know. You see it in their face. I just went on a photo shoot last week with 4 moms, and there's the joy of and the preciousness of what almost happened when they first came to Choices, and the way that they're saying to me, I am so grateful for Choices. Isn't my baby the cutest baby you've ever seen in your life? Yes, we agree. That is the cutest baby we've ever seen. Yes, those babies are super cute. They also, babies that are in threat of abortion are really active on the ultrasound when they, hey, I'm in here, please. So it's really amazing. My babies were like, I'm perfectly safe in here. So not acting cute at all in ultrasounds, but they're cute now. But the other things that we offer, these services, like legacy parenting, is a huge fun thing. If you haven't been a part of that, if you haven't gotten to bring a dinner to that and feed these moms and dads, or come and volunteer with that, please let me know that that's something you're interested in. Incredible testimonies out of that. We are now seeing patients who came through legacy parenting. They came to the clinic, they chose life, they went through our parenting class. They are saying, can I come back and speak at parenting? Can I come back and invest in it? Dropping off gifts for parenting. I have a dinner scheduled next month at our UCF clinic that a Choices mom who chose life and has her baby went through parenting, and she said, I'm bringing my friends to make dinner for the moms. What's better than that? Like, we are seeing the fruit of that, just like generationally passing that forward. It's so beautiful. Making myself cry up here, y'all. Okay, life coaching, also incredible. That's very one-on-one. A lot of them sign up for it. It's really difficult to get it scheduled after they have their babies and they're busy, but they want it, they're hungry for it, and we are offering it. We're available for anybody that can get that on their calendar. Men's life skills class, they have a couple of cute names for this. I think Empower is one for the women and Aspire for the men, but they're basically doing kind of these lunch and learn things that we've just started, where they can come in for an hour, we'll feed them, and they're learning something a little more high level, detailed on like budgeting or, literacy for children, or something that's like building on their parenting skills. Okay, how am I doing? I gotta go a little faster, sorry. Abortion recovery is a huge ministry. Really love to see that in small groups, but this is basically I think it's a 7-week or 8-week Bible study that they go through and just really process what they've experienced as post-abortive. So a lot of these women were 30 years ago had an abortion, or 10 years ago or something. It's not something that's happening like the minute they are able to do that. They're not really able to process that, but we're available for whenever. And then our baby boutique and showers are so fun. Baby showers are always so fun. I mentioned this earlier, so we'll keep going, but we do have a new clinic. Our newest little beautiful Kissimmee clinic is open. 1 mile, half a mile. The Kissimmee one's half a mile from Planned Parenthood in Kissimmee. Next one. Can we watch this video this is a testimony of a patient.
When I first found out I was pregnant, I kind of was in denial a little bit. But once it actually sunk in, my first thought was I didn't know what the future would look like. I thought I would have to leave school. I felt like a little embarrassed. I didn't even want to think of the possibility of what that would look like when people did find out I was pregnant, because of what that would affect my current life. So at that point, a ton of things were going through my head. We kind of went into it not sure what choice we were gonna make and just hoping that I would have some clarity when I saw the ultrasound.
I was in denial as well, and I think that because it was such a large idea, how am I going to balance law school and any form of employment and then be able to be available?
I felt like I was very alone in that moment because at this point I did not want to share with anybody what I was experiencing. So I started looking online, like free ultrasounds. And then when I came into the clinic, I remember I spoke to someone, and you know, when you find out you're pregnant, the first person you want to go to is your mom. So for me, because I didn't have that figure, I almost looked at her at that point as a mother figure. She reassured me that God was with me and he was going to be by my side through the whole experience, and that it really helped like ground my decision, which was to keep the baby.
So at that point, I mean, I was a staunch atheist. And when I heard that, it had this weird click in my brain where I understood what love was, what empathy was, what all of these intangibles were.
I saw him actually get touched by the Holy Spirit. I think at that moment, I felt a sense of relief, like, okay, Alex understands he's gonna be on my side now, and I'm gonna have somebody to support me. And then at that point, like, everything changed. We attended parenting class together, we started prepping together, shopping together. I mean, we were both super excited after.
What I thought of, at least at the time, was that a parenting class is more likely for the woman than the man. But then I went in and we were sitting around with a bunch of guys. We actually were getting pretty vulnerable with our feelings about this. Billy was really trying to clarify what a relationship with God can do for you in these moments.
Choices was there for me. I am so grateful to be with a beautiful, healthy baby who's full of life and love, which just gives me so much gratitude. Like every single day I wake up and it's like the first thing I see is his face smiling, and it's almost undeserving. I'm like so grateful, you know, that I have this.
I'm happy you made that decision. You were able to lead us in that moment and have the foresight and the faith in a God that I had not known at that time. And where we sit today, it is unimaginable.
So this one testimony, this one story is so fun to share because it covers every piece of the choices experience for these women. But what is so powerful when Ashley said, no one supported me except the team of choices, and I knew it was the right thing to do. Like, she did it against the wishes of the baby's dad, against well, she didn't even want to share with family, so I don't even know that they were anti her having a baby. She was just too scared to tell them, which is that darkness, right? That secrecy. We bring things into the light. God can heal it, take care of it. It's a whole new era, right? But for Ashley, to me, it was so beautiful to see Alex come back to her and say, because you obeyed God, I found God. Like, that trickle out effect is so powerful, and I haven't seen it summarized that way before from a patient. They can't really wrap those words around, but we have that experience a lot probably, that a mom who chooses life against the wishes of the people saying, get that abortion, get it over with, we don't want this, we don't want you to do this, that pressure that she's feeling, and she obeys God anyway, and then God heals all the other pieces. That is so powerful for me. Okay, to a few numbers real quickly here. We did see, these are 2024 numbers as we assess all of that and then share those with y'all. Almost 3,000 patients last year, patient visits, and 1833 were positive pregnancy tests. Most of them know that they're pregnant. We just have the technology for that now. So that has shifted for sure. But the ones we say are at risk with either health-wise or at risk of having an abortion. Okay. We shared the gospel 789 times. And I like to say you guys shared the gospel 789 times because we're able to do what we do because of the local body of Christ, for sure. And then we've had 87 decisions for Christ. Those are the ones we know of. The 452 that chose life, those are babies we've met. We do not write down what the mom says when she leaves her appointment because we know sometimes we're planting a seed and sometimes we're watering. And sometimes we're going to get to see that harvest, right? But what we do is continue to pray. Even if she says, oh, absolutely, I'm going to keep my baby, we're still praying because the fact that she visited us in the first place means that she's under attack in some way, right? Whether it's in her own head or the people around her or her circumstances or her finances or whatever. So 452, that's amazing. These are beautiful babies that we've met, and that's how we document it. So that number's always increasing from past years when the mom drives by. And we definitely wrote her down, and we continue to try to call her, never heard from her, that she was having that abortion. She came back with a car full of kids and was like, oh, by the way, I was just in the neighborhood and I thought you might want to meet all my children, that I had that first one because y'all prayed for me. I never told you. We're like, yes, we want to know that. So it's very, very joyful for us. Okay. All right, so here's what's going on now with the changes with that medical abortion pill being kind of an invisible enemy. We know about that in the church, right? But what's happening with that adjustment to that is us really trying to increase, if we're seeing more patients who have need, they're coming in, that we're increasing, really getting into that triage of who needs social services, and we've expanded our team at Choices to have that now. We have a social worker who has a history with social work on our team, and she's our education director and leading these classes and leading for these patients. And then that abortion pill reversal is huge because that's, like I said, so easy to get, so easy to take, but then the regret hits, and we want to continue scientifically to be able to come around them with a medical approach on that. All right, so it's walk time, guys. We're so excited. Just for those of you that don't know, I'm sure Becky is doing an amazing job promoting this, so I won't spend a lot of time on this, but we do have just a great day planned, and it's such a fun. It isn't a run for those of you thinking you got to be a 5K runner. No, this is a very fun, casual, symbolic, celebratory walk around Baldwin Park. 9 a.m. it starts, usually done by 10, but you can stay and hang out as long as you want. Okay. So this is our goal this year, and what we usually see around that place is 80 participating churches in the area, 500 total walkers that are getting sponsors and doing that fundraising, and then together we can raise a good piece of the Choices budget for the year. That $500,000 really makes a difference in us providing all these services. So. All right, I made this little, it's not as cute as the ones our social media person makes, but I made this slide for you because I wanted y'all to have some really good numbers. Y'all have been, our records for the wall go back to 2014. We went back as far as we could find. And this precious church, Reformed Pres, is there. And so going back, y'all have been with us as long as our records and our things can show, and doing incredible work. But I just wanted to tell you, just in the past 5 years, we just took the last 5 years of data, y'all have raised over $200,000 for Choice. That is incredible. That is incredible. And I just wanted to celebrate that with y'all today. And also, back in, I guess going back in, since 1994? That is definitely not what is that? I think last year, y'all had more than that, right? Would that have been back when we started? I don't know if I trust my number on that.
1994, we would have.
That was your first. Okay, that's what I was going to say. That is the right number then. I was not even doubting, I was doubting myself. So back even then, you had 30 walkers and 150 sponsors, which is incredible. Just a little history. I was like, is that number, does that match up with yours? Okay, awesome. So I'm just so grateful. Y'all are leaders in this. We are so grateful for you. And we definitely call you Orlando Reformed at Choices. So if it's Reformed Pres of Orlando, I need to get everybody on the right track there. So do y'all use it interchangeably? Yeah. Okay, I was like, I think it's, okay, because half the things say that, so, okay. All right, just making sure when you're in the hometown, you want to say the right. Okay, next slide. If you have any trouble with this, I know Becky's on the job, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but really the breakdown that I like to say to people that are asking me about Walk is you can register or you can give. You register to be on my team and you go fundraise, or just sponsor me, it's fine, So we say that all the time around the clinic and with each other. So these two buttons, if you can get them to walkforlifeorlando.com, you have those two buttons, register or give. Okay. And then it looks like this, and you can set up a cute page, which I know most of you are professionals with, so I won't spend more time on that. And then these are all the fun things happening. Not that we're there for that, but it is nice to know what the prizes are. So this is new this year, this little picnic blanket, so cute, and we had a hat last year. And then that's a really nice boat tote. I still have mine from my wedding 31 years ago. Those things will last, let me tell you. That's a good investment. I just wanted to share with us, when we prayed about like the theme for the year, and if you've been around the Walk or around Choices, we love to kind of take a verse and stand on that, right? And sort of let it build our faith, let the Word of God build our faith. And this particular one this year was actually something we talked about a couple of years ago, and another thing was chosen. And we're seeing even more, even something silly like, what's the theme going to be of the year? What's the verse of the year? It is absolutely so appropriate right now, right? We are seeing more and more that being the light, that salt and light, is only needed, you only need light if there's darkness, right? If you're light in the light, everybody's good. Everybody has that, oh, we're all in the light together. This is wonderful, and it is joyful, and I love it, and love being around Christian fellowship and doing that. But so much of the time, we see an intimidation and a push, I think culturally, to say, we're going to try to turn that light off. We are going to let the darkness overtake. But I'm so grateful to be able to stand with you guys and to see that incredible forward motion that we get to see from this. So just to share this quick passage with you, Matthew 5, you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And I remember reading this as a child and thinking, oh, we're not supposed to magnify our good deeds. Like, that seemed contradictory to me, to say, oh, I'm going to do something and let others see that. But as I have grown and as I have had to process this verse and teach it to my children and do that, I'm seeing that there's a contagiousness to light, right? If I have my little candle in a huge dark room, there's still light around me, but when we all do that, there's a contagiousness to it, and that is the concept of making disciples and sharing that with other people. That is a very, Jesus' words himself, but it's also a very godly concept. So we just appreciate y'all standing with us, but we are really standing with y'all. That's what I really want to leave that message with you today. So do I have just another one of these? All right, I would love, how much time do I have? 5 minutes? Yes. Okay, Q&A, anybody, questions? Would love to answer a question for you. Yes? Yes, it is a doctor. There's several now that are on call, so they take turns doing that. So yes, they are the ones that they're connected and actually speak with the doctor so that they can get their prescriptions for that reversal.
I'm curious about the longer term trends. Do you assume the vast majority of abortions in the future are through the pill? And if so, how does that affect Choice's strategy and resource allocation?
Right. The two questions. The one of, do we assume that it will mostly be the pill? I believe in places that don't protect life and that really are fighting to keep 9 full months of abortion, they're going to have to do surgical abortions still. So I don't think it's going to completely put out of business unless we have a mindset change in the country, in the world. We've kind of seen in the U.S. that like other countries are like 12 weeks. We shouldn't. That's brutal to do anything past 12 weeks. No, they have these like arbitrary like 11 weeks, completely morally fine. 12 weeks. That's horrible. We don't want to be one of those barbaric countries that does that. So like European countries and things, they have these like really like that 12 to 14 week thing. And we've seen states coming up with that attitude as well. The thing with the dangerous and the double-edged issue with the pill is when you can prescribe a pill, you're not requiring that the mom really knows her gestational age. And so we saw that even before the 6th week, right? We saw people come in and go, I'm probably like 7 weeks. No, you're 15 weeks, ma'am. No, you're really far along. Like they don't always know. They know they're pregnant, they know something's going on, and they can get that. But without an ultrasound, without testing that, they really don't know. And they're self-diagnosing at home and figuring that out. So I think what we're going to see, my prayer and my prediction, is that as awful as it is, there's going to be more press about the dangers of the pill. So my prayer is that that gets exposed, is because we are seeing devastating, horrible, sad stories of women that have taken that pill. And you might read them and hear, oh, that's because of those restrictive laws, right? That poor woman lost her life because of those restrictive laws. She lost her life because she took a pill and had a tragedy at home. And she was a lot farther along, and she basically delivered a baby at home that was destroyed and then delivered. It's heartbreaking. So that's the thing, we have to kind of be educated on that and know. But I would say long-term trajectories, we kind of are at a crossroads. Like it's either gonna be that people are really aware of the dangers of this, or it's gonna just continue to go. Because that lack of education is what we see, right? The woman with the little Ziploc bag who walks in our clinic and says, should I take this? And we're like, what even is that? Do you have any, or the directions are in a language she doesn't speak and she's ordered it online, or her family member brought it from another country here. I mean, we think about like the fentanyl crisis and people taking things they don't know what's in it. The irony to the team of these women who are really, really careful about everything they eat and being healthy are gonna take an unlabeled pill that they don't know what it is. And we're like, these things do not go together, ma'am. You know, like they're much more loving than I would be, but yeah, precious. But I think that's the issue. And then on the other side, I feel like, was your next question like how we respond? Okay, I was like, I think I rambled too much on that. Our response, it's funny, I went down and asked in the clinic after a few months of the law changing, and I said, how mad are the moms? How mad are these patients? I call them the moms. They call them patients to be respectful. But how mad are they that they come in and they can't get their abortions, like they're too late in Florida? So very few tell us, you know, what they're gonna do when at that moment, or they say one thing, but we don't know. A few are saying, I'll go out of state and have an abortion in a more permissive state, which is what was happening to us. We were the abortion tourism, right? Planned Parenthood was giving you a weekend at Disney, and if you paid for an abortion. Like we had that going on here in our state, in our backyard. Really, really tragic. So a few are saying that. A lot are saying, I guess I'm having a baby. It's amazing, like, because people were like predicting that these laws were gonna make all these women so mad and bitter. They were actually, like many women over centuries, were like, I guess I need to figure this out. And we get to come in, and we get to walk alongside with them, and we get to say, hey, you're not alone. What education do you need? What support do you need? What baby clothes do you need? Where's Donna? Donna's dropping off baby clothes for them. I mean, that we get to walk alongside them with that. So it's pretty cool, pretty neat to see. I hope I kind of answered that. Yes?
Do you keep up with the young ladies in the future, like when they have the babies and then?
As much as they let us, we love to do that. And so that's what some of those follow-up ministries allow us to do as well, is build relationship. So we're looking to we have a program called Embrace, where so they've gone through the clinic, they've been a patient, they've met all of our medical team, they get called and checked on throughout their pregnancy. They get a call after their due date, a birth stat call from us. And that's when we say, oh, you had your baby? Come in, we want to meet your baby. And then we get to have a new part of that relationship, right? They get to do that. And then, did you go through parenting class? We'd love to have you in parenting class. So they go through parenting class. In parenting class, they have a care coach who's from a local church who sits with them and encourages them and checks on them through all of that, gets them through that part. After the baby's born, if they will let us, and we are available to do that, there are other classes they can be a part of, or an Embrace program has been very successful. Lots of these women are signing up for the Embrace program to have a local church come around them and keep relationship with them. So, and it all looks different. We really hand it off. We're not trying to control that. We let the church be the church. We're not the church. So it's really neat to see the ones that get that relationship building. But that's our dream and our goal and our prayer. So, any other questions? Yes, Miss Donna. Love that question. Love that question. It was not at all planted. This question was not at all planted in this. So the two things that I say are the very first things you can do is if you're not receiving prayer texts. Is anybody in here receiving a text from us with a prayer request? That is a great way to have like that daily, quick, look down at your phone. You can stop and pray right then. So prayer, huge, and it also keeps you connected with like the patients that we're seeing in the clinic. Yes. Okay, so volunteer-wise, that parenting class is we could be doing 8 more classes then. Right? We're doing it 4 times a year, 7 weeks at a time, at all the different clinics. I mean, my dream is that we're not just at one clinic at a time, but multiple clinics are having that. So as that grows, the ongoing care, that's huge, and being able to do that. So that's probably the first place that I would say we're looking for in that. We also have, come into the office occasionally and do things like that. So I would love to get your info for that. But the immediate, that this once a year walk for life we talked about, the life sustainers that give $5 and $10 a month, that give $20 a month as a family is huge, because that allows us to really plan for the medical team and the hiring for that. So that would be, to answer Donna's questions. And then volunteers, we love them. We'll put you to work. So that's great. Any other questions for me? Yes? Do you have men that counsel the boyfriends? Yes. So the men's parenting is actually really popular. The women have told me that the men's group chat from parenting is actually, they're like, I got 2 high chairs, who needs one? It's like they're running deals in the like free stuff, for each other and checking on each other. They're just amazing. And that's always like our concern. We have a couple of men who are really leading that, but we're really protective to not burn them out. So anybody who's interested in coming in and volunteering and saying, I can cover a couple of classes, or I can do 1 session a year for 7 Thursday nights. It's always on Thursday nights. But yeah, that's an incredible gift for that, is to be able, and that mentoring after, even for the one-on-one visits, if you can't do a Thursday night, but you're like, I want to be available to a new dad who just needs somebody to meet with them. We have people that give gift cards so that dads in the community can take these other dads out for a coffee or for dinner or something. So it's really, really strategic and thoughtful, the process with that. We love it. You guys, I know you have to have church. I appreciate y'all so much. So I could stay all day for sure, but thank you so, so much. Thank you.